Okay, so this truck probably deserves a little bit of backstory. This truck belonged to my grandpa, and he was that amazing person in my life. He touched a lot of people's lives, actually, and I hope that I can do the same thing as I continue on through life. I hope I can be the same kind of person for my family as well. So, he would sit out in front of the grocery store, wait for grandma to go buy groceries, and he would just chat with anybody there. And he made so many connections. We actually didn't really realize how many connections and how many people's lives he had impacted and made positive change for them, and just even friends. And when it came to his funeral, there were so many people there with so many different stories of how he had been somebody amazing to them, that it was just a huge blessing to find out. Anyways, the truck was his, and I was a young guy, just a little guy at the point that this story takes place. And I would put on my orange parka, and we would go out to the Orange Pekoe and water the cattle, and Grandpa would do all the work, of course, and I would just be along for the ride. Well, anyways, that truck was something that when Grandpa passed, it held such a good memory in my mind that I wanted to hold on to it. So that was what I asked Grandma for. And after I had gotten the truck, it sat for quite a while. I did what I could, but I was just a young kid, didn't really know what directions to go with everything. And now that I've gotten to a point where I'm a little bit more established and I can do more, I had started to fix the truck. Now, originally I was going to leave it as a regular cab long box truck, and I'd gotten pretty close. I'll see if I have some photos and share them, but I'd gotten pretty close to having the truck ready to go. And it was at that moment that I had put it on a different frame. I was using a 3/4 ton reg cab long box frame, and the pieces of the truck weren't quite lined up the same. They weren't the same lengths, and there was a spot in between the cab and the box. And I looked at it and was like, man, what am I going to do there? And so I ended up thinking, well, I'll just extend my box and I'll have a super long box. But then, a couple of days of thinking on that, and it's like, oh, once I get this truck finished, it will only ever be a 3-seater at best, and I won't be able to enjoy this with my family. And I didn't like that idea. I wanted this to be something that I could share with everybody, and that it could also be used regularly and enjoyed quite often. So that's where the idea of making it a crew cab was born. And from there, my brain just worked it out slowly, I guess, and looked at a lot of pictures online of what previous people had done, and then decided which direction I was going. And now, here we are. And I'm going to do my best to share that journey with you guys. And we'll see where we land. I am by no means a trained professional in any way. And so all of this is just a guy in his garage playing around, and an old truck that means a lot. Now, I know there's going to be people that are going to wonder why I cut it up and stuff, but I feel like there's just that memory of Grandpa and the family and everything else that I can now bundle into a truck that was his. And to me, that's just an excellent thing and an excellent reminder of my grandpa. And so if you have somebody amazing in your life, cherish them. And when they pass, try and bring alive some of the things that they brought into your life in somebody else's life. So now that we're kind of familiar, today what I'm hoping to achieve is I want that box to come off, that box to go on. We're not mounting, we're just getting something done, because this is a big task, and I definitely have felt overwhelmed at times about it. So just little bite-sized pieces, just so we can inch our way to the finish line. Okay, we're back. We have the gantry in place. We're rigged up. We're gonna lift. We'll see how level it comes up. That works. We're gonna take that, we're gonna lift it up, we're gonna drive the truck out. I'll bring my trailer in, we'll drop that on. I'm gonna use this box for wood chips. And then we'll bring the truck back in after we've got this truck bed put back on there. Now some of you might be wondering why bother taking the box off and all that work when you know you have to put the cabs on. Well, this is my way of thinking it through, that I think I need to know where the wheel wells of my box line up with the wheels on the truck. I don't really want to move spring perches. I kind of want to just leave it all as is. And if I gain a little cab room, not a big deal. I'll just push my cab back. That also will help me determine the space in between the two cabs that I need to fill in. So for now, let's go ahead and we'll dig this box out. It's been sitting here for about a year. It's time it came out anyways. And then once we've got that dug out, I'll bring you guys back. We'll drop it on that frame and we'll see where we line up with everything, and yeah, maybe we'll take some front end pieces off just to get a little further at tearing that truck down. Okay, we now have our box. It's been an adventure, that's all I'll say. But got the truck ready, put it back and in underneath. We're gonna ease it down and see what we got.
Okay, we have a box on the truck. This is exciting. Well, this box is rough. This truck, you guys, you gotta remember, this truck has seen a lot. But we are higher than we will end up being. This is just for visuals, clearing up some space in my shop so that I can work a little bit more efficiently on this. That's an upcoming project. This car, we'll go over this car at some point. I think you guys will like the story on this car. I know I do. So, we have a long box swap for a long box. Seems to sit pretty good. Now there is these pieces right here that were for a fifth wheel or some sort of thing in this truck. So all good there. Again, this poor truck. We're gonna make it look nice. Maybe not going to the show amazing, but we'll make it look better. These box sides are pretty rough. But anyways, so now that we have this sitting here, now I feel like I've got a pretty good idea that I'm going to have about the same amount of cab space as I would in this cab. So I'm not going to have a funny little bump out deal or weird cab things. I think we're going to end up with that front door and that back door meeting pretty nicely. But we will get to see that. But that will not be this episode. Okay. As a final piece, I've turned the truck around. Okay, I need to take that hood off because I want to take these fenders off because this thing already is so long it has the turning radius of a ship. But once we get all that off, my tires won't rub, and then we can make much, much tighter turns. So let's pull that stuff off. I mean, hood, front fenders. And then I think we're pretty much going to call it there for today. And up next will be plasma cutting into the cab. And then plasma cut that floor out. We'll do some rough cutting there and we'll see where we land. And then we can have a peek of that cab and maybe this cab both sitting on the frame. And then to really complete the view, if we can get that far, we'll bolt a front fender onto that. And that would be a pretty sweet little glimpse into this truck getting into its final format. But for now, let's pull that front end off and I'll give you a quick peek of that and then we'll call it good till the next time. Okay, so we have everything kind of pulled apart. Turning radius is back. That is pretty close. I think we'll see what we can do about making that a little bit nicer. But we have made some great progress here. Pretty cool. Boy, that feels good. Feels good. That makes me pretty excited to see that cab come off and this one go on. I'm hoping for good things. Anyways, there it is. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you next time.